we're going to have the next session by Asit. Asit is, I have to say that he is a repeat serial offender again at the carnival, and he's threatened to shoot me if, or get crash if I don't invite him. And being from Delhi/Gurgaon, I can't take his threats lightly. Exclusive option buyers. Okay. Only option sellers. Okay. Roughly 60-40 kind of thing.
Sellers have gone. That's what has happened.
Okay. Right. So we are going to have this session on option buying here. Okay. Asit again after Goa. Multiple Goa instances. Yeah. So he's going to be talking about longing options. I'm sure all of you will find it useful, engaging, and productive. Over to Asit.
Hey guys, hello everyone. Thank you for coming over for a buying session, long option strategy maybe. I think what I'm going to cover over here, we'll talk about few strategies, maybe 2-3 strategies, and how exactly long options can come into play once we have the sense of direction, which way it is going, and that is what we'll be doing. I'll try to keep it as short as possible, and then I think I'll open it for questions, and that discussions I will have. I think we'll have more clarity in terms of what I'm trying to send the message across. So let me just see, I guess, yeah, so this is what I keep telling, I'm coming straight away to the topic and the strategies, whatever that is there. So the whole option buying model and strategies, whatever that is there, it is based upon probability. So what we are looking at, what are the chances that you buy an option, call, put, or whatever, what are the chances it is kind of going to a higher price and things like that. Now, it will go to a higher price or higher premium only when you got the direction correct, the momentum correct, and you're kind of playing with the wave. And as soon as the wave declines, you kind of come out of it. So I think one of the basic rationale of taking long options is that how to spot that trend in momentum. So before that, yes, so option buying is a probability model. So we're trying to find out how exactly you can bring probability to your side and try to benefit out of it. A few of the course, I think the last one is my favorite. Trading is not a test of IQ but EQ. You might have all the necessary ingredients in terms of strategies, backtesting, capital, and everything. But the EQ, if you're falling short of, I think you not have a desirable outcome, if I may say. So this is exactly how I'll be looking at it. Yeah, so. And then trusting the probabilities is kind of an ultimate paramount thing. So basically, if you're not having the probability, if you're not having the odds in your favor, it will be difficult to make money in option buying kind of thing. So yeah, research, plan, execute, then profit or loss or whatever, repeat. I think this is a general thing. Most of the people, traders, they get into option buying because the premiums are cheap, not because there is a rationale to go long or short, kind of a long call or long put kind of thing. So trade and do not gamble. Okay, ये पैसा कम है, premium कम है, तो मैं इसको ले लेता हूँ, मुझे benefit हो जाएगा. You have to have a probability, you have to have a system why you should be thinking of going for option buying, because it can happen even if your strategy and everything is fine. The theta, the momentum is present. The trend is all good, but momentum is not there. You're going to lose the money in the premium. So yes, it is a fine line of balance that you need to maintain to find trend and momentum. But once you get that balance, it's quite easy to kind of go for the drift and make money out of it. So do not kind of gamble. Try to trade and try to bring that probability rational in your side. Okay, I will be talking about a couple of strategies. So for the heck of nomenclature, I have given Fresta. What exactly we are looking at here, if we can see the slide. Okay, so let's talk about Fresta first. So F for fractals, R for Renko, E for EMA, ST for Supertrend, and A for ADX. Now, what exactly we are looking at here? So we understand one rationale that in option buying you can only make money if you have the sense of direction correct. if you can bring that delta to your favor, and you get in with around say 40 delta, 45 delta, and try to make it to say 70 delta, 75 delta, and do kind of rotate the strike. But before I can do that, I need to know whether the direction that I have caught is correct or not, right? So what I try to normally do, what we can do rather, not depending upon one time frame, not depending upon one kind of strategy, try to have at least couple of strategies and see if both the strategies are kind of giving the same output. So Renko charts, we'll discuss a bit about it. These charts will give you a lot of confirmation about the trend that you are in, whether there is any dilution with the trend, whether the trend is intact or not. And I'll be talking about how these Renko boxes are getting built. I'll be talking about what are the parameters of super trend. But this is what we can see till the time when we can carry on the trade, right? The second part of it is that elder systems, EIS, elder impulse system. We are talking about bull and bear power, and we are talking about force index, and how we can combine these two and try to kind of have the understanding of the direction, then kind of do the long options kind of thing. So let's first come to the first part of it, the Renko chart freestyle, let's say. So if you kind of talk about it, so F for fractals. Now what exactly is fractals? So fractal is like 3-bar fractal or 5-bar fractal. What we are looking at, in a 3-bar fractal, the middle bar will form the low, and most of the times these lows are the swing lows. So can I catch something which is a swing low, or can I catch something which is a swing high? So swing high will be the middle bar will be the top higher high, and kind of it's left and right side of the candle. So that will be the midpoint where the size of the candle is the topping the highest. So that is an inverted V. And the fractal, the other side of 3-bar fractal, we are talking about just the V. The good thing is that it talks about kind of the place at which probable swing low and swing high is getting created, right? So that is one confirmation that we're getting from fractal. It's like this is what atomic building block of any chart. Before any reversal happens, you'll always find that 1-bar candle which is kind of beneath the left and right candle. Similarly, beneath any kind of top that is getting formed, the middle bar will definitely be coming, and that is kind of going to give an indication of the probable kind of top that is getting formed. But the sad part is that till the time the third candle is not getting formed, you'll not actually find there's a fractal getting kind of created in a 3-bar kind of setup. So this is Williams fractal. You can study more about it, but this does give a lot of cues about the probable swing low or swing high kind of thing. What exactly we'll be looking at in the, now that we are talking of the Renko part of it. So let me come to the slide. Yeah, can you see this chart clearly? I hope, yeah, I think it should be fine. So what we are looking at here, if you can see, there are a series of bricks that are getting formed, then red and green. The moment when the red is turning to kind of green, most certainly there is a fractal that is getting created, right? So that should be giving me confidence, kind of a confluence of this, both the trend change and volume change and everything that is coming to the picture. Now, how exactly I can estimate key things are looking good? I have two super trend, 21.1 and 14.2. And also I have EMA 13. Now the consensus value of the particular direction and strength of the trend. And to add it up, we have ADX. Now let me talk about the setup what we are looking at here. First thing first, I want a series of bricks that are getting formed either way. Now just to give a brief about the Renko, if I may. First thing first, it is kind of noiseless. It kind of removes a lot of noise. In comparison to candles, you'll see Renkos are smooth, they're clean, and they would not be kind of fluctuating that much like a candle. Less noisy, swing low and swing highs are kind of quite visible over here. The thing that I'm kind of quite interested is the 2-brick rule. Until unless there are not 2 bricks that are change of color that is coming in terms of red to green or green to red, I'll not be very, very kind of doubtful about the existing trend that is there. But if at all the 2-brick is getting changed, you can definitely say there's some change that might be coming our way. Now, how exactly these bricks are getting formed? So let's say, let me put in an example. So the brick can be decided upon points. 5 points, 10 points, depending on whatever that you want to have. There's also another way like ATR. Each of the brick will take some amount of ATR value and they will get formed. So what we are looking at is the 8-year, normal 14 default one. And remember, this break will not be forming by the side, horizontally. It will always be 45 degree. So my point, what I would like to have, first thing first, if there is any swing low, swing high fractal getting created, if the bricks are taking shape of a 45 degree angular downside or upside, and to confirm it, if both the bricks are kind of above the super trends, 21.1 and 14.2. If that is the case, do I have the confirmation from ADX that ADX is more than 25? If that is there, I'm getting momentum by my side. With the kind of breaks coming to my picture, I have the trend in my side. So what we need in option buying? Both trend and momentum, right? So this is how I'll be gauging the trend and momentum. And to confirm, I need both the 21.1 and 14.2 to be beneath the breaks, and that's it. That's all that I'm looking at it. There will be whisper in case there is obviously fluctuation, whatever that is happening. But once the 2-brick rule gets broken, so let's say green, suddenly there is a fractal top that getting made, and there is a red bricks getting formed down. I know for sure, okay, I'll respect 2 bricks, and let me play till the time the brick color is not changing, number 1. Number 2, let's say the super trend support is not getting broken out. Maybe the 13 EMA is not broken out. These are the number of criteria that I will have to find out the existing trend is in line. If it is not, you can always have a stop loss. But the moment the change of color is happening, you should always have the kind of eye key, okay fine, maybe the trend is about to change. So can I bring my stop loss much tighter? Yes, you can. So that is what I'll be talking about, kind of looking at in the Fresta kind of thing. I think one more thing that I'd like to talk is the wick. Whenever you see, I'll take it to the chart and maybe we can see a few of the charts. Whenever that wick is getting printed in any of the red and green box, that is an attempt by the bull side or bear side to change the existing trend. So before the change of color with the wick, you should always get alert, okay fine, this is how things might be coming to an end, the existing trend that is there. What also can be done, can I have a 1-minute chart and 5-minute chart, 3-minute chart? Please, up to you. Because this, okay, how these bricks are getting formed. So let's say your particular stock is at 100 rupees, right? Now, I have a brick value of 100, say 2 points, just the 2 points. So till the time my stock price is not moving beyond 102, it goes to 103, 1 brick will be formed, right? Now let's say it's oscillate between 103 and 103.5, there'll be no more brick that is going to get formed. It goes to 106, let's say. How many bricks will be formed now? 3 bricks, 102, 104, 106. That is how the bricks will get formed. Now, what can happen, let's say in 106 May, if I have to find a red brick, the red brick has to have kind of 4 points, else it will not be, the red brick will not be coming into picture. Why is that? The pace at which the green bricks will, the kind of horizontal, the angular bricks will get formed, double the size of the bricks has to be there in terms of the price change before the red comes into the picture. So that is how the change of the color of the brick will give me an alert the existing trend is going to get an kind of close. And what can be done? I'm sorry. What can be done? I would definitely. I'm sorry. 1 second. I will definitely looking at the confirmation from the fractals. If there is any fractal swing low, swing high that is getting formed. If yes, my confidence will be much stronger to kind of go with it. So this is the first part of it that we're talking about. The kind of Fresta, let's say, just for the nomenclature, not to be given that much of importance, but yeah, this is what it is. But it gives a lot of significance and confirmation in terms of the internal strength of a particular trend, or whatever that is there. Now let's kind of come to the second part of it, which I'm kind of quite closely look at, is the elder system. Now, what are the 2-3 things that we'll be looking at in the elder system? First thing first, if you kind of look at it, I look at the elder impulse system. Let me come to that chart part, just a second. Yeah, if you can see this chart, again the same thing. There are 2 super trends, 21.1, 14.2, that is what I have. Along with that, what I'll also be having is the Heikin Ashi candle. Heikin Ashi candle is almost the similar kind of footprint that will be given in Renko, but on Heikin Ashi, can I impose elder impulse system? What is EIS, elder impulse system? It talks about your 13 period EMA is in consensus with the MACD or not. If both your MACD and EIS, 13 EMA are in consensus, they will either have green, bullish side, or red, because that is kind of now going down. In case they are not in consensus, they will have a blue or purple kind of color. So that indecisiveness will come with the formation of blue or purple candle. So if I'm in a kind of a trend and it is kind of going down, all the red kind of candles, Heikin Ashi candles, all is fine, but suddenly I see a doji that is getting formed, and also blue or purple candle that is formed, which is nothing but indecisiveness. I need to be kind of careful. What else can I also be seeing? If the super trend is changing the kind of sell to buy and whatever. But along with that, just like in kind of normal candles, we're looking into kind of this ADX, I'll be looking into this Elder Force Index. This is nothing but, it will oscillate around zero level. The moment it goes below zero level aggressively, and you see, let's say, the volume is increasing, open interest is increasing, whatever that you can, additional info that you can get, you can understand that bearishness is coming. If this Elder Force Index is flattish around zero, the momentum is not there. Another thing that I need to have for option buying, I need to have the momentum in my side. So that is how I'll be kind of guessing how exactly this volume that is there. If you see in this particular chart, this again Bank Nifty, there's a huge dip that has come, but and one more thing, this Elder Force Index is not bounded. It can keep going down, it can keep going up. So once a reversal is coming from Elder Force Index, I can see, okay, no more shorters are there. And what to confirm is this bull and bear power. The moment you see this is nothing but a 13-period slope, and it is going above the zero line, it is kind of bullish. It is going below the zero line, that is kind of bearish. So now if you kind of come back to the first slide, I think what we have covered so far. So this is the slide that you're looking at. On the left-hand side, let me kind of repeat it again. What we're looking at Renko charts, it will kind of take out all the noise that would be there, and it will be talking us to the kind of what is the prevailing trend that is there. To confirm, I'll have two super trends, 14.1 and 21.1 and 14.2. And post that, what I'll have a 13-period EMA just to understand the consensus value of the market. And I'll have the fractal. The fractal will tell me where could be the probable kind of high or low that is getting formed. And in case the fractal low is there, and let's say the breaks are taking support at 13 EMA, or let's say super trends, it is more than confirmation that things are about to kind of turn the direction in terms of wherever it is going on before. So that is how I'll be looking at this particular, let's say, Renko charts, and then obviously ADX has to be at least more than 22, 23 kind of thing, so that the momentum is there. The left-hand side, what we're looking at, EIS, two super trend. What exactly EIS tell us? Both your 13-period EMA and MACD is in consensus. If they are on the bullish side, the candles will be green. If they are on the bearish side, they will have kind of red. If the 13-period EMA and MACD having the divergence, they will have a purple and kind of blue color. So what does a option buyer need? He needs a range to be played out. He needs a trend and momentum, and he wants to find out how exactly the momentum is strong. So once the change of color of breaks, once the change of color of the candles in Heikin Ashi, I always prefer Heikin Ashi more than the candles, because it makes my job little easier, because I can find the trend quite quickly rather than in a candle. And along with that, in complementary to whatever that is there in ADX, the force index will tell me how significant the drop is, or significant the kind of the high side that is getting formed. So it's kind of side by side. What I normally kind of would advise, take the Renko on 1 minute chart. It will print lot of breaks, and that will give you a lot of clarity in the inherent trend that is there. And in the Heikin Ashi or the EIS, take maybe around 5 minutes. I think one of the things that we all need to do, always combine 2 time frames at least for the same stock, whatever that you're trading. The 2 time frames will give that multi-dimensional view about whatever that is you're looking at. Never ever trade on a single stock on 1 time frame. Always have 2 time frames, maybe say 15 minutes and 5 minutes, and that is the kind of ratio that you can have. But yeah, that is what we'll be kind of looking at. So these 2 systems that we have discussed, this is more about finding trend, finding the strength of the trend. What could be the reversal point? These reversal points are very, very important. Do not get swayed away कि market 800 point गिर गया तो go back and check Henko chart. Maybe we can open some charts and see. Whenever the market is reversing, there's always going to be a fractal. So can you capture that fractal along with the swing low and see the previous breaks that are taking support in those levels? So it is not getting, just because market is kind of going down, that doesn't mean it will not bounce back and there will not be a reversal that will not be coming. So wait for that reversal in case, you want to, let's say I want to be bullish. I want to have some kind of a retracement. So this fractal lows will give me a lot of value zone, जहाँ पे कि मैं fresh entry कर सकता हूँ. Not just because it is going up. Most of the time what we do, we keep buying on the high, and the moment there is some retracement, we are out. As a buyer or options, it is always prudent to kind of buy a little undervalued options 40 delta में जहाँ पे correction हो चुका है, because your risk is much better kind of positioned. So yeah, so this is exactly how I'll be kind of seeing the two kind of system in different time frames and trying to find out how exactly it will be looking. Any questions in case we can take, and maybe then I can go to the options part. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at for the two systems that I'm discussing. This is the elder system that I was talking about. If you can see, there is a series of initial part. The first green candles, the size of the candle, the body of the candle is significant. That means money is there. There is money flow that is coming. The moment you see green is turning into purple or blue, please understand there is some indecisiveness that is coming. And the beauty of this Heikin Ashi and EIS is that you can put it in any time frame, it will give you the same result. So not necessarily in a shorter time frame, try to see it in a higher time frame, it will be yielding the same result. So if I'm bullish, if I'm talking, I'm not sure if I can show the pointer. Can you show the pointer somewhere? No? Okay. So if you see the first 4-5 candles, chotu motu candle hai, then that green candle is coming. Couple of doji points, I'll not be adding any quantity, but if you see the 4 kind of green candles, these are the places where I would like to scalp or pyramid or whatever. The moment the purple blue that is coming, that is a warning signal that things, whatever the bullishness that you're seeing previously might taking a pause, may kind of reverse. So at this point of time, I would like to kind of take things little conservatively, put a tighter stop loss and things like that. And same goes for the red candles also. The moment, another thing, the Heikin Ashi mein, whenever the change of the trend is happening, the candle will get squeezed. The candle's body of the candle will not be the same what it would be beforehand. So again, an alert system you can say where you think, okay, fine, things might be coming to an end, whatever the prevailing trend that is there. So again, I always try to find out, I'd like a lot of confirmations. So do not follow only one system, one time frame, one strategy. Try to have a couple of strategies simultaneously in 2 different time frames, and then try to come out to the point where exactly would I have consensus and confirmation regarding the direction of it. Similarly, force index, it combines the direction and volume. It is unbounded, falling force index. What I try to look at the force index is kind of has fallen, and suddenly there is a reversal coming. Along with the reversal, is there a fractal getting formed? Along with the reversal, whether the red Heikin Ashi is turning into maybe green and EIS giving a exit signal for the short side. That is the combination that I'll be looking at. So in that point of time, buying a call is much more this thing rather than thinking, okay, fine, this reversal, I'm talking about intraday perspective. And this kind of dip will keep coming or going up and things like that. Whenever there is a reversal, try to do the other part of it rather than the continuation, whatever that is happening. So yeah, this is the elder system that will be looking at it. And yeah, in case you have any queries till now, we can discuss, then I can take the options part after that. Anything? Okay then. So fine. So now what I actually do, let's say once, so the first part what we are discussing right now, how exactly would I know the direction of the trend? How do I know the momentum is there? If once that is having the clarity, I would like to know, okay, how exactly I can bring that options part of it and try to benefit of it. Now, what exactly, what are the few kind of things that you think would be of help to us? First is that in terms of long options, I would not like to kind of stay long for a long period of time. If there is any reversal, I would not like to take that reversal lightly, put a tighter stop loss in case the trend is changing due to fractal, due to kind of EIS candle change. I will definitely kind of try to see how the other side of this direction that is coming to play. As an option buyer, I would not like to trade every day. If the market is trending, if let's say the index is falling, or maybe the market is sideways, I'll not trade. But when the index is either going up or going down, those are the days I'll be kind of not trading. Now, the question can come, how do I know the index is going up or going down? But yeah, there are few things that you can do. Try to find out Bank Nifty, let's say private banks options chain, vol skew. These are the few things that you can see and find out how exactly the trending move can come. If not, try to find out in different time frames, each of the banks, how they are performing. It is not about only the index, but 4 or 5 banks, and that's all that you will need to kind of now find out. Stick to ATMs rather than OTMs. Most of us in long options, we lose money. The lot of talk that is there, like, long options mein paisa nahi banta. It is because of the fact we do not know the rules of the game that nicely. Whatever little understanding that I have, for me, it is always about ATMs. Always try to play ATM at the money, because we are talking about 40-50 delta, let's say, and this 40-50 delta is nothing but the probability this particular strike price will kind of expire in the money. What is the probability this strike price will kind of have much more traction than any other strike price? So let's say you do the delta drifting. Now, how exactly we can do it? Let's say Reliance 2700. Now you expect Reliance to go to say 2800 hypothetically. Now instead of taking Reliance 3000 call, 2900 call, I would suggest that take 2700 ka call, which is ATM. Delta is 40-50. Try to see if the delta you can scalp pyramid to maybe 80 or 90 delta, and that is what the game that you're looking at. Never ever go to say 3000 ka call just because abhi expiry pura mahina baki hai, premium cheap. That is not the thing. Here I think what can be done, should be done, buy the premiums higher and sell it much higher. It is not about buying something at around say 50 rupees, selling it at 80 rupees. Maybe you buy something at around say 250 rupees, 200 rupees and sell it 400 rupees. And that is the game that I should be playing. So that is exactly how we'll be kind of look into the delta drift kind of thing. Stick to the ATMs. Definitely be aware of the theta and IV. Theta, obviously, we all know what exactly it is. In a high IV regime, it's very difficult to kind of make money. Parliament election, let's say Corona market, when the India VIX is around 70-80, you say, my direction is fine, I'll make money. No, it will not be happening, because IV would have taken shape, and your premium has been kind of swelled up quite a bit. So at that point of time, if I buy any option, even if my direction is correct, I'll be not able to make money. If a particular stock's IVP and IVR is less, say more than 50, say 70, 60, 80, that is the zone where you'll not be touching that particular stock's options, because you'll never be able to make money. So try to find stocks where the direction and momentum is kind of something you can have a kind of a clarity about. At the same time, try to find the stocks options. A, it must be having the liquidity. B, the IVP and IVR should be less than kind of 50. Lesser the better, maybe 25, 30, 40, whatever that is there. So beware where exactly this IV kind of is kind of lying around. What is the theta? Obviously, not be buying something on Wednesday, trying to think, okay, on Thursday I'll make money. So in case you want to buy index options, try to buy it on Tuesday for the next week rather than the same week kind of thing. Chase delta and gamma. I have a strong conviction in the fact that if you can find the power of delta and understand the delta is going to have a proper drift, you do not really have to worry about theta. I'm sorry to offend any sellers, that's not the intention, but point is the kind of delta move that you can find out if the trend and direction you have much clarity upon, it will give you kind of a decent return. And know your Greeks. Basically, try to find out what are the different Greeks that we have talked about and how exactly they will play up. One of the things, majorly that I see, Bank Nifty options or let's say Nifty options, just because there is a time period of let's say a month or whatever, let's say somebody is playing in monthly option, they think they can take it up and play for the whole month mein pura hai, then I can benefit. Try to get into the shape where you think you do not need to stay in the particular stocks or index strike price for a long period of time. Either you're right or your stop loss has been hit. Either two of the things are kind of not happening. If the stop loss is hit, so your sense of direction has gone wrong, so obviously you're going to get penalized. You will always get penalized not because of theta. Please, that's the reality. You'll always be penalized because of delta blade. Your delta is not doing what it ought to be doing, and the sense of direction has gone wrong. never ever blame theta. Yes, I can understand on a Wednesday for Thursday, there will be theta decay, but on a normal course of action in a monthly expiry or let's say 2 weeks expiry kind of thing, it's not the theta that hurts, it's the delta bleed that actually hurts us as a buyer. My sense of direction has gone wrong. That is why I'm kind of, my delta is bleeding. So understand what are the things that I need to kind of put in the plate that so that I can enjoy the meal. It is not about finding something cheap and try to have it for a long period of time. Try something which is why exactly IV of a particular stock or maybe the premium of a particular stock is high, because there is demand, right? So don't get into the zone where 50-20 delta, 25 delta, and that 25 delta will become 75. It can become. Somebody who would have bought Bank Nifty 1000 points niche ka put, they would have benefited yesterday and today, let's say. But that is not normalcy. And then you'll always try to find out what is having more probability to make money. Understand this thing. If I'm thinking Bank Nifty is going to fall down by 1000 points, hypothetically, so 40,000 say 39,000. Now 39,000 ka put you can buy because it is cheap, because I will lose less money kind of thing. But what I would suggest, in case your understanding of the index is correct, why would I buy 39,000 ka call and why would I not buy 40,000, sorry, not 39,000 ka put, why would I not buy 40,000 ka put? Now what happens on the 40,000 put? Now 1000 points, the kind of traction it will have, it will kind of in terms of ROE it will be less because obviously you're taking higher premium, but in terms of absolute change it will be quite nice. So try to find out situations and zones where you think कि 1000 point नीचे लेके मुझे benefit हो जाएगा. You might have a good day, 2 day in a month, maybe like that, but most of the time you lose money. So always try to stick to ATMs, 50 delta, and try to kind of make it to say 70, 80 delta. So these are a few things that can be done. And yeah, not to stay put for long. I think this is one thing that you can have. In case you're forming a view of a particular stock or index or whatever, it is just like vegetables that you get to your house. Like you do not consume your vegetables after 10 days or maybe say 15 days. It has to be consumed by 2-3 days. So in case the price is not moving, but there is a time correction, have a time stop loss also. So the game in option buying is about this. It is not about taking the stop loss. You have to be readily acceptable कि okay fine, यहाँ पे movement नहीं आ रहा, my stop loss is there, it is gone. 25-30% premium is what you should be kind of losing. It is not about option buying तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा zero हो जाएगा. No, मैं 100 रुपये में buy किया हूँ, मेरा stop loss is 75-80 at max. It is not about letting that 100 rupees premium drift out to maybe 10 rupees, 5 rupees. That is not the game. So first thing first, in case you are willing to buy options, try to find trend and direction. Understand which strike price that will be taking. Always try to have ATMs 50 delta. And in case even if your direction is fine and everything is fine, but still the stock premium is not moving up, have a time correction, time stop loss, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, not more than that. So either price correction में आपका stop loss hit होगा, नहीं तो time correction में आपका stop loss hit होगा. But never ever just because the premium is less, you can let the premium go down to zero just because that is the fundamental rule. No, 20%, मतलब 20%, 30% में I'm out. But when you are right, you should be aiming to make 100% of the return of the premium that you paid for that stock or index. And that is the game here. I do not know how many of you would have shorted Bank Nifty day before yesterday or maybe yesterday. When you are shorting Bank Nifty and your direction is correct, it is always better to find out how much of delta that I can consume. See, let's say you have bought 40,000 ka put and it has come down say 800 points. Do not try to scalp or pyramid on the same existing 40,000 ka put. Book the profit. The profit can maybe 30% you can kind of put it back in a new strike price. In that way, new strike price, let's say 39,300. In that way, part of your profit is already taken up, nothing much in the table, but at the same time, if you're still having the traction, the profit will get another profit layer, which will be out of the capital. So that is how you can compound your option buying strategies. Yes, I understand the fact that there is theta decay and everything, but when the direction is clear and you have a momentum to back it up, most of the times the option premiums, I'm pretty sure most of you who would have seen Bank Nifty, not that every day it will happen like this, but whenever it happens, it gives you a lot of traction in terms of the premium. So personally speaking, I understand the theta decay and everything that is there, but that return really doesn't excite me. I always try to find out how exactly the direction I can bring it to my side. I can bring the probability to my side and play the game in a manner in which I can do a lot of delta drifting. If the delta drifting scope is less, pyramiding scope is less, I'll not be able to make money. Okay, so this is one way to look at it. If in case you're interested in option buying, let me have 100 rupees capital, hypothetically. Can I make over a period of time 100 return out of 100, 100 return out of 100? So maybe 4 or 5 times return of 100 rupees has happened 5 times from the initial capital of 100. The whole dynamics of a trader, the mentality and everything will change. Most of us, including me, whatever the trading that we used to do, we have a lot of fear in the mind. Okay, ye theta decay ho jayega. What if the premium goes down? I think to excel as a trader, all of us need to have remove that fear factor. And the fear factor can only be removed if you have money in the bank. Let's say you have 3-4 times, at least 3-4 times multiplied your capital. If that happens, the whole trading DNA will change. It will be completely different one. And it is not about how much return, consistent return. This is all fine, you can do that. But somebody who is a let's say full-time trader, willing to be a full-time trader, if I'm risking everything up and trying to find out what kind of return that can be generated, I don't want to settle for 4-5% a month. It's as simple as that. I want to make it a point. I want to find out ways to find the direction, ways to find how the option buying can help me out. And that is where the whole game is. It is not about earning 4-5%, but yes, first initially 4-5%, but over a period of time, once you know the game, the returns can be quite superlative. And one of the things that we have the understanding as a trader, we have to trade every day. No, I don't think that is not the criteria at all. We need to trade in the days when we think the maximum traction can be gained. It is not about exhausting your mental wavelength, bandwidth every day basis trying to make some money. Wait for that particular day when you think, okay, fine, there is some explosive mother candle going to get formed. Pre-position yourself so that you can take the whole mother candle. So when you saw that chart of that Heikin Ashi candle I was showing, there are 4 or 5 candles, let's say that's a 15-minute candle. Those are the candles that I'm interested in. I do not want dojis in my trading span. If I'm trading, I want those mother candles to come my way. Now, it's easier said than done, but at the same time it is doable. It's just that maybe we have been told it is not doable, but that is not the case. So yeah, these are the few rationales I would say for the option buying, how exactly it can make sense. Few of the things that we can always understand. The delta and gamma give you enough mileage than the theta in the trending market. With due respect to everyone, market is always trending. It may not be index, it may not be stock. Well, with some pocket, somewhere, something is definitely moving, up or down. I don't care anything regarding how much and who is moving where, as long as there's some kind of traction that is happening, that spark that is coming in particular stock or index, and that is what I need to catch. I think once we understand कि कहाँ पे movement आ सकता है, maybe metal sector, maybe pharma, maybe banks, whatever that is there, I can always see. Another thing is that most of the times we find out where exactly the move is about to come. I think as a trader, all of us should have this much of क्या बोलते हैं understanding. Finding a particular trade should be the least of the problem. We must be having tools or ways to find direction. If you have not found that kind of platform as yet, the game is yet to be beginning. That is not the thing. We have to have the confidence that we know where exactly we will go wrong. So be it. It's fine. It is not about getting right every time that you trade 10 times, but out of 10 times, even if I go wrong 4 times, 6 times that I'm going right, then I'll play the second game. The second game is that how do I pyramid? If somebody who would have not sorted Bank Nifty at 41,500 and 41,850, go and check why did you not sort or why did you not buy for say 41,600 ka put. That understanding has to be there. If that is not there, then the game is yet to begin for you. And that's, don't want to sound offensive, but that is what I'm trying to say. We have to find the direction of it, and market is always going to have some direction. We have to spot it. Once you spot it, now the game begins, how much of delta drifting that I can do. Can I get 41,600, make the profit go to 41,300, make the profit go to 41,000, 41,000 ka profit, then 40,000. Not necessarily market will have unidirectional the way it has happened last 2 days, but most of the time it does. It does give you that kind of sense of playground. So we need to own that up and play the game in a most efficient manner. And how do you manage the risk? My risk is that the first 2 times that I have made the profit, those 2 profit is going to get me money. It is not the capital that is at play. So once you understand the capital is not at your play, the game changes for you. Because you're just playing with your profit. Try to make the profit 100, then another 100, then another 100. So your capital is complete. Even if there is theta decay, I don't care. I'm looking at, let's say, 400 points, 500 points in Bank Nifty, maybe 100 points in Nifty. So that is exactly what I'll be looking at it. Another thing that I always do, try to find out in Nifty how much, maybe 7-8 companies. I need to understand the option chain of those 7-8 companies. I need to understand the support resistance of those 7-8 companies. What kind of an opening is getting built up over a period of last 4-5 days time. So I need to have the understanding of those, let's say Nifty mein 5-6 company, 6-7 company excluding banks, and Bank Nifty mein 5 company. All we need to know about the market is not more than 15 companies. And if we want to be believed that we cannot study for 15 companies, then we are not putting effort. It's as simple as that. So you need to understand, have a clear understanding how these 15-18 companies are doing, understand the numbers by heart. Okay, fine, where is the support, where is the resistance, what is the R1, S1, and whatever that is there, what kind of open interest, cumulative open interest getting built up. I need to have that understanding to have a view of the index. Not necessarily I'll go right every time, but at the same time, out of 10 times, even if I go 6 times right, I get 3 times this kind of jumbo move, 1,000 points, 500 points, I'm done. Most of the time, we get sucked up the idea that every day we have to trade. Please understand, best of the trades come when you wait for the proper setup to arrive. And then you just ride the trend depending upon the, let's say, chart setting, maybe your OI and everything. So that is how exactly I look at it. Option buying may obviously the kind of the probability of profit is 30%. We have the common saying 99% of the option are worthless. Absolutely correct. But do I need to wait for the whole expiry to let the option getting kind of worthless? No. My rule of the game is 20%, 25%, at max 30%. 30% is out, I'm out of the game. But at the same time, for every 30% loss that I'm kind of accepting, I'm expecting 1, 2, 3 good trade will be coming, which will be giving 100%, maybe 200% of the premium. So that is the game. Whenever we are going wrong, let's accept with minimum kind of premium erosion. And whenever we're going right, I want 200% return of the premium, I want 150% of the premium of the return, and I can do a lot of delta drifting. So that is exactly how this concept of probability of profit is little kind of misleading, or the worthlessness of the option buying is little misleading, because I want to be at the mean where the market is. I do not want the market has moved from say 42,000, 41,000 to say 39,000 and still stuck at 40,000. No, if things have gone bad, I am accepting the loss and I'm moving to the other side of the trend and I'm going short or whatever. Yes, market can be choppy. Let it be choppy. If it is choppy, both sides my stop loss is getting hit, that's a different story. But once the direction is clear for the last 2-3 days, they say, लग रहा है कि निफ्टी बैंक निफ्टी करेक्ट होने वाले हैं, there is no point we don't play for the game. On a I don't know, like on a Thursday expiry, you would have seen 300% rise in premium yesterday, right? Because not that it happens every day, but whenever it happens, once in a 4 expiries or 3 expiries during 4 times in a kind of a month, that's more than enough for the whole month. Trust me, that is actually more than enough for the month. The whole inertia that we have accepted and kind of understood in the market, we have to trade every day. Who says that? Who defines this rule that we have to trade every day? If at all I'm a delta chaser, gamma chaser, I will wait for the opportunity when it is giving me. Not that I'll just because I have money, I have time, I'll trade. So that discipline will definitely help a lot of you. Maybe few of you know, I do not trade anything between 11 to 2 kind of thing. Maybe that is a time when the momentum goes down, maybe the trend is not that clear. So that is one way that has helped me for sure. Okay, 2 to 3:30 I trade and 9:15 to say 10:30, 11 that I trade. And this I have kind of observed over a period of time. That doesn't mean if the market is trending between 11 to 2, I'll not be trading. But at the same time, 80%, 70% of the time market goes to the sideways zone. And as a buyer, I understand the super trend is flattish. I cannot be making money. Always, whichever instrument that you trade, just have two super trends, 21.1, 14.2, and see the slope of the super trend. If the slope of the super trend is flattish, market is not going to do much. As a buyer, I'll not be able to make money. You need to have that slope of super trend to make money. So that is a very small hack, but it will give you a lot of confidence ki, I'm not trapped into a kind of a sideways market. And as a buyer in a sideways market, obviously your momentum drops down, your kind of a theta will kind of attack, and you're not going to get traction. So my point is, try to find out with different indicators how exactly, which are the kind of a market that you need to be more aggressive, and which are the market are completely kind of sideways and nothing like that. So choosing that spot where you need to attack, that is definitely quite critical. Do not have to go on with the market. Every day I have to trade, every day I have to make money. That is definitely not something that we need to do. We did talk about delta drift in pyramiding. Yes. Yeah. Buy options at high premium and sell it higher. Never ever kind of compromise on the premium. The premiumness of the premium. So basically, if the premium is around of say 39,200 ka put I want to buy, I do not want to buy say 38,000 ka put. Don't ever do that. Or 38,500 ka put. Just because last 2 दिन में 5,000 point गिर गया तो अगले भी दिन में गिरेगा, not necessary. So then we will lose money. And most of us are not disciplined enough to kind of book our losses quickly. One of the main ingredient of a successful buying kind of atmosphere is to be understanding that we are not going to be right every time. We are going to kind of book our losses whenever we see the change of trend and whatever that is coming, and play for the game when the money or premium can double it up. That is what we'll be doing. Another thing about option buying, most of us can understand selling is good, consistent. I completely agree. One of the things that buying gets you is that we always know the magnitude of risk that is involved. Not a buyer or seller this thing, but I need to know before I put my premium how much at max I can lose. That is the definition that would not be there from the writer's perspective. And coming to also the point the way the margin and everything has been this thing. See, end of the day, what we want, all of us as a traders, what do we want? We want to make money. The color of the money doesn't really know, option buy karo, sell karo doesn't really matter. But at the same time, if I know, let's say, what I can earn in 100 rupees through selling, I can earn the same amount with 30 rupees. Because of the fact that I do not have to kind of expose my whole capital to the market. Can I get the same return on 30 rupees, what I could get on 100 rupees on selling? That is the edge that I would like to have. And then on that 30 rupees, I want to compound. So that's a completely different ball of game. Just come to think of it, I'm not asking everyone to start, let's say you have 100 rupees, you start buying options of 100 rupees. No, that is not the game. You do it at 30 rupees, try to earn the money or return that you want to make out of 100 rupees in futures or selling or whatever. And once you do that, then you will see great amount of compounding that can happen. So these are the few things that I would say ki buying options will obviously kind of much more kind of helpful. But yeah, that's more or less what I had to kind of present. And yeah, open to questions. Anything that you want to know, please, we can discuss. And any query that you have, we can discuss. Yep, thank you. Yeah, please.
Is there a criteria that you use, like you told something about at least IV percentile and IV rank, we need to check that it's not at least above 50 percentile. But is there any other criteria you use to at least shortlist a number of stocks that finally then you can go through this analysis? Or do you actually just...
I didn't get your second part of it. Can you repeat?
Okay. Is there some kind of screener that one can use so that you can at least shortlist some stocks before we perform this entire analysis?
See, what you can do, maybe pick up the 20, 30 stocks which are most liquid. Try to understand what is that IVP, IVR over a period of time. And once I have the liquidity picture clear कि यहाँ पे bid spread का ज़्यादा difference नहीं है, that is one. I have the trend momentum with my side. I don't think, and then IVP and IVR below say 25, 30, 40, whatever, then it is okay. But at the same time, I need to have the liquidity aspect also, which are the, so top 40 stocks where the maximum liquidity is there, IVP, IVR is less than that, I can definitely kind of go for it. Yep,
Ashit, when we are doing an option buying, yeah, Ashit.
App.
When we are doing an option buying, do you ever consider from the risk management perspective on the stop loss on the options, or you always look at the underlying and decide to get out of the options? So if you would have gone long Nifty pay, so yeah, what would?
No,
how are-
Vishal bhai, I look at it in this underlying aspect, number one. The risk management, so if my sense of direction to the particular stock has gone wrong or the index has gone wrong, then option will obviously manifest the same thing what is happening in the underlying. So my stop loss will be hit. But having said that, the risk management part of it, I think that is the key thing what I would like to believe. Key, what if let's say 1,000 rupees my capital, I made 100 rupees of profit. Can I make more returns out of the 100 or maybe 200? And over a period of time, that profit money is giving me the return, not the capital kind of thing. So just to add on, most of us, as you know, like now we go for 100 रुपया तो पूरा 100 रुपया एक stock में लगा दिया, and that is the key discipline that we don't have to kind of do kind of thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question here. So, will you always buy naked call or put, or for some stocks or some scenario you will go for spread like bull call spread or bear put spread?
Okay, the answer to is that I don't believe in spreads.
Okay.
The fact of the matter, this is my kind of way of looking at things. If I don't have the clarity of the direction or the momentum, whatever, why do I need to be in that trade? Why do I need to be in the business of taking that particular call and put? And if I'm taking that call and put, and my understanding is decent and whatever that is there, and I'm willing to take the stop loss, whatever that is there, why do I need to create another leg which will eat up my profit? I want the whole of it coming my way. I don't want a part of it is taking away from another leg. This is kind of, you can say I'm compromising on my view. This whole option buying business is kind of directly related to how good your view is. Now, my view can always go wrong, and I'm absolutely fine with that. 20%, 30% premium gone, 40% premium is gone, absolutely fine. But when the view goes right, then it's all about pyramiding, it's all about scaling it up. It is, I'm telling you, there's so many people who, with no offense again, okay, 400 points I have captured in Bank Nifty. It really doesn't matter how many points that I have captured. As a trader, if I want to become a pro, if I'm starting with say 1,000 quantity, can I do the same 400 point capture in 50,000 quantity? Can I do it in 1 lakh quantity? That talks about conviction. It is not about 400 points, it is about how much of volume that you can bring in your side, directly proportional to your conviction, and make money out of it. So that is how I look at it. And I always go naked call, naked put. I have lost money on small little black swan like 4th of March. But for every 4th of March, there are 10 different incidents where I have gone 10 times return than what I have lost in 4th of March.
And another follow-up question, that when you are looking for the top 40 stocks for which you said that you will trade the options, so there will be always some stocks which will give you buy signal, some stocks which will give you sell signal. So while taking any directional position in the stocks, do you consider the market? Like if there is, suppose right now the market is going downtrend and some stock is giving you buy call on your signal, so will you take that or you will ignore?
On a market when the breadth is quite negative, bearishness, काफी है, I would not like to kind of take the probability of a stock which is showing resilience today would also do the same thing tomorrow. So my bias will definitely be in the negative side, you can say. I would not like to take anything. But at the same time, yes, if the market breadth is 50-50, I can understand. I can take 10 good stocks which is on the long side, 10 good stocks on the short side, and that is how I would like to play.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Yeah.
What is this elder systems and fractals and all that? What is it a tool or indicators? What is that?
This is there in TradingView. You can just drop elder impulse system. It will come to your chart. So the color of the bars will get changed.
Okay.
Green, red, and purple or blue, whatever. So red bars is going to tell you that the EMA, 13 EMA and MACD are kind of consensus going down.
Okay.
Green is going to tell you that both are going up. That is why it is bullish. if the 13 EMA is going this side, MACD is going this side, divergence is there, then there's a purple candle is coming. So that's the first sign where you can say, okay, things are looking bad, maybe I need to bring a tighter stop loss and things like that. Elder impulse system gives you much faster exit than most of this thing. And try to have the fractals bring in where you can tell you, okay, this is a swing high, this is a swing low. The kind of probability will definitely go up.
So is it available for free version or the paid version?
Yeah, it'll be there. It'll be there. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Not sure if I can. Can you see my screen? How do they see the screen? Excuse me. No, I am opening the web. Yep. Okay, can you, so let's see the first chart. I think good that you asked. So this is Bank Nifty, if you can see. So let's, the two green lines that you see, which is going parallelly over here, this is super trends, 21.1 and 14.2. So this is one. The fractals that you're seeing, this is swing high, swing low, and things like that. We have a white line that is 13 EMA. So what do we want? Let me analyze the situation here. So this is around what? 26th October when the first sign. One thing you always remember, be it fractal, be it Renko, be it EIS, be it Heikin Ashi, whenever the super trend is flattish, please avoid the trade. Just wait for the slopes to getting built up. Now, if the slope is getting built up, what are the confirmations that we have? We have 3 fractals high that is there. You can also have fractal support resistance line. That is also a good measure to kind of now find out the top and bottom. So over here, what I'm looking at 2 super trends going kind of now having the slope, change of color over a period of time, but wait for 2 kind of now distinct Renko breaks to be getting kind of now printed. And if you see, let me enlarge it if I can. If you see this fractal is getting coincided with the wick and the particular break. So that's the first signal things are kind of now bullish to bearish, and just wait. Not that you need to kind of now take it. Why? Because ADX is not that strong right now. I will wait for a couple of breaks to be formed in the kind of negative side, and once it is there, I'll not exit till this first green break that is getting formed, first sign of reversal. But at the same time, what justifies to be still there is again a fractal high that is getting created, and look at this one, the fractal low that is getting created. So one fractal high which was created at 41,655. We do not have a fractal low which is swing low till around 38,516, and this is 1 minute Renko chart. All I'm trying to say, just bring as much of confirmation to your side and play the game. Now, if you're long since here, one break would have asked you to kind of not tighten your stop loss, but then there is not a single exit that is there. But look at once the fractal low is getting created, do you see a reversal? Yes, we do. And we see a green bar that is getting formed, but at least a few, not bar, breaks. So from here low, wait for 2 breaks to be kind of completely completed. We're looking at 39,225 to almost like 39.8, so 5 minute points. Till the time, what happens again next? Change of break. There is a small wick that is in the first red candle, fractal high. The first sign when I need to exit from my longs or be very aware of that, things might be coming my way in a different way. Can I have the confirmation once this break is getting formed below 13 EMA, my trend has completely changed now? Yes, it does. And I'm from this point of 39,418, it's negative to almost like 300 points. I'm not saying it is 100% accurate, no, but most of the 70%, 80% of the time it will work nicely. Also, one thing, the one that I talked about, EIS, try to bring that up and try to study the chart both the ways in different time frames, and I'm pretty sure you'll have some answer regarding the trend and direction. We struggle with the trend and direction, right? So what if we bring and have an understanding with a noiseless chart where, the trend and direction is pretty much clear. So this is the first part of it that I'll be looking at. This is 1 minute Renko chart. Let me come to the second part of it where I'm talking about EIS. Now, if you see, whenever this, do you see this one? Two super trend flattish. I'm not interested in this kind of, bars getting formed. If I can increase it, just give me a second. If you see this, I'm interested in something like this. When the elder force index is going away from the zero line and kind of dipping, there is good mother candles getting formed. Two super price is below two super trend, and decent traction that is there. What could be my exit over here? The moment this bull and bear power is losing the grip, it is going away from the bear grip to maybe neutral zone. That's the point I'll exit. Maybe I'll start thinking of exiting before this kind of candle goes to green completely, or whatever, there is a purple or blue one that will be coming. Again, as signal that you must consider, okay, fine, maybe the trend is about to change. So can I combine both the Renko charts and let's say Heikin-Ashi and try to find out where exactly I can kind of see it? Most of the time, you bring the fractal into equation and you'll always find a swing low and swing high. At least 80% of the time, and that's all that I need. I need a proper exit system based upon certain logic. Okay, fine, fractal low is getting created, super trend is getting flattish, 13 EMA is taken out. Can I stop going short and go long, or maybe if that is how I want to play it? Yes, I can do that. So fractals are definitely quite good in terms of once we put the Renko chart on it and try to combine the EIS and Heikin-Ashi, it will give you a good exit in case trend reversal is placed. So yeah, that's exactly the chart. Any queries on this one, please, you can let me know. Yep. Any other queries, guys? Yep, please.
Okay, what would be the ideal brick size if you are trading on different time frames? So,
What is the?
brick size? How do you define brick size?
Don't go to the close price, take the ATR, and that ATR,
ATR always doesn't work, I tried many times.
average to range.
I know. Yeah, I think it's ATR, the brick size is too big, so the trend is not that clear. So my experience.
No, I didn't get your question.
No, ATR doesn't work that well with Renko. That is my belief.
No, not really. It's not that it will not work. So if you do not want to have ATR, just have the fixed pricing.
Yeah, I do
So
fixed pricing, yes.
That's fine. But I prefer ATR.
Okay.
I want to bring that volatility to the picture and try to have the smoothness.
Okay.
So if you're not comfortable with ATR, you can do close price. But all I'm trying to find out, it has to give me a clear signal that how many bricks are getting formed continuously.
Correct.
The good thing about Renko chart, if you kind of bring the ATR part of it, because of this time independent, at one day, 10 different bricks getting formed.
Correct.
And in 5 days also 2 bricks will not get formed.
Yeah.
So if the bricks are not getting printed, I'll not be bullish or bearish.
Correct.
All I want is confirmation with the kind of super trend ATR and just trying to bring that odds in my favor. Okay, fine. Either the trend is up or down. So that is what I'm looking at. So if you're not comfortable with the ATR, just bring the fixed price. That is also fine. That you can do.
Okay, one more query. So since time is not a factor in Renko, so if I'm trading trend, so how do you assess whether to take the
So basically
trade or not?
the brick will not get printed, right? So if my price is 100, 5 point ka brick hai, and if the price is oscillating between 100 to 105 ke beech mein, there is no brick that is going to form.
Yeah.
If the brick is not going to form, the trend continuation is not there. All I want as a buyer is follow through. If more bricks are coming to the picture. If the bricks is not coming, the trend momentum is dying down and I'll not be getting into the option buying. Maybe somebody can use this as a selling because the traction is not there in the upside or downside.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Anyone having any other questions or maybe? Yep. ठीक है, all right. Thank you for listening and thank you for seeing this. So yeah, thank you everyone.